We saw them literally removing the letters off the outside of the building for USAID, Senator. What's your reaction to that?
This is more of your Trump derangement syndrome. This is more of these activist judges. So here you have a judge who is standing up for wasting taxpayer money. It is not the judge's money. It is not the court's money. This is money that hard-working taxpayers have earned and sent to Washington, D.C. And if they're going to decide they don't want to pay for Sesame Street in Iraq or DEI education in another country or trans surgeries in another country. Martha, the American people have spoken. They gave Donald Trump a mandate on November 5th. He is carrying that out. He made promises. He is keeping those promises.
America would be safer and more prosperous if Democrats and their rogue judges who carry out their bidding loved the American people as much as they seem to love inundating our communities with violent illegal aliens. What President Trump is doing here by deporting members of the Tren de Aragua, who, by the way, are some of the most ruthless and brutal gang members on the globe, is he is using his statutory authority under the Alien Enemies Act and his plenary authority under Article 2 of the Constitution to carry out the United States' foreign policy and to repel invasions. This is entirely lawful for the president. What is not lawful is a rogue judge in the D.C. Circuit Court trying to usurp the president's power to protect the American people, power that, by the way, President Trump was democratically given. He ran on this issue of protecting the people from illegal aliens. He's executing on that mission. It is wrong.
I don't think it's an exaggeration to say today, after Donald Trump, the left hates you more than any person on earth.
Yes, I appear to be number two. I mean, if you're judged by the various signs,
it's derangements. It's Trump derangement syndrome and Elon derangement syndrome.
Yes.
How is that for you? That's a little bit of whiplash of going from being like Mr. Cool to the devil incarnate in just a couple of years. Is that kind of weird to experience that transformation?
Yes.
Why do they hate you so much?
Well, because we're clearly over the target. If DOGE was ineffective, if we were not actually getting rid of a bunch of waste and fraud, and a bunch of that fraud, I mean, the fraud we're seeing is overwhelmingly on the left. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not zero on the right, but these NGOs are almost all left-wing NGOs that are being funded, for example.
Yep.
So they hate me because DOGE is being effective, and DOGE is getting rid of a lot of waste and fraud that people on the left were taking advantage of. That's what it comes down to. And the single biggest thing that they're worried about is that DOGE is going to turn off fraudulent payments of entitlements. I mean, everything from Social Security, Medicare, unemployment, disability, Small Business Administration loans, turn them off to illegals. This is the crux of the matter.
Yep.
Okay. This is the thing that why they really hate my guts and want me to die.
And do you think that's billions, hundreds of billions? What do you think the scale is of that?
I think across the country, it's well north of 100 billion, maybe 200 billion. By using entitlements fraud, the Democrats have been able to attract and retain vast numbers of illegal immigrants.
And buy voters.
And buy voters, exactly. They basically bring in, I don't know, 10, 20 million people who are beholden to the Democrats for government handouts.
Monday, knock, knock, nobody's home. Look at this. Got this big, beautiful area where employees are supposed to work. Nobody's here. So
this is why we needed Elon Musk and DOGE. So that all of this can be put out into the public, can be exposed. Money gone, wasted, abused, stolen, yes, theft. Your money, my money, taxpayers' money.
we're in the second headquarters at Freddie Mac. We were just in the other building. There was nobody there for miles and miles and miles. Look at these desks. They're clean. One of the things that we discovered pretty quickly was there was about 2,900 people that were supposed to work in the building. Turns out only 49 were showing up full time on a 5-day.
No, slow it down. 2,900 people? How many showed up?
On average, the highest that we saw on a 5-day work week was 49 people. We're spending on that one building, just to point this out, $57 million a year.
And your lease payment?
In lease payments.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. If you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what's going on, family? I hope everybody is blessed, well, healthy, and that nothing but the best is going on in all you beautiful people's life, man. That you have an amazing day, an amazing week, an amazing month, and that 2025 is going well for you all, your family, your friends, and neighbors, the strangers around the world, man. Don't care where you're from, what your age is, what your skin color is. We are wishing the best in everybody's life. One love to the human race, man. As simple as that. We got some big things to get into today, family. You know, and then especially in our next couple videos. But great to see this starting the day off. Donald Trump invites faith leaders from across the nation to pray in the Oval Office, man. This is beautiful. And I know yesterday, even in my state, a bill got signed yesterday to allow prayer back into schools. You know, it's man, I tell you, it's crazy to see how a lot of things got taken away, how extreme and left and woke, you know, we've gotten, man. You know, this right here is very, very, is what we need, man. You know, and I want to send my prayers and love to you all, man. Because we're living in some crazy times, man. The corrupt scam matrix. But we definitely have to get into these judges, man. These activist leftist judges, they're doing everything they can right now to block President Trump. You know, the radical left, man. You know, again, we spoke loud and clear. Loud and clear. And now we have a judge coming after Elon Musk. It's getting real, you know. But I say, you know, it needs to be a full-blown investigation. These judges appointed by Democrats, Obama, you know, needs to be a full-blown investigation, impeached, put them on the plane, send them to El Salvador, you know. Send them, put them on the plane.
Wow, this is a very big deal.
This is a huge deal. Here you have Chief Justice John Roberts appearing to push back on statements President Trump made earlier today, suggesting that a judge, James Boasberg, who of course temporarily blocked deportations by the Trump administration, or at least tried to, should be impeached. And here the Chief Justice writes, "For more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose."
We know how we know the first couple things CNN got to put out there. We already know. But Trump was asked last night, would you defy a court order? You know, here's what he said.
What would you say to that? Are there circumstances where you would defy a court order?
Well, I think that, number one, nobody's been through more courts than I have. I think nobody knows the courts any better than I have. I would say the chief judge does, but nobody knows them better than I have. And what they've done to me, I've had the worst judges. I've had crooked judges. I have judges that valued Mar-a-Lago at $18 million because that benefited his case, because he wanted to see me convicted of something. I have judges that had relatives making millions and millions of dollars on the election, ruling on the election.
But going forward,
I had judges that were so corrupt
Because that we all know that, and that was
I
outrageous.
never did defy a court order.
And you wouldn't in the future.
No, you can't do that. However, we have bad judges. We have very bad judges, and these are judges that shouldn't be allowed. I think at a certain point you have to start looking at what do you do when you have a rogue judge. The judge that we're talking about, you look at his other rulings. I mean, rulings unrelated, but having to do with me, he's a lunatic.
What do y'all think about that? Laura Ingraham, I know she was getting a lot of hit back last night. A real competitive interview. And again, a lot of them Patriots didn't like what they were seeing from the back and forth of these two. And a lot of people calling her another form of Sean Hannity, you know. But hey, you know. No matter what side you're on, what Trump said right there, I know, and again, maybe she says we already know, we've already heard this Trump, but I'm glad he puts it out there again, man. You know, no matter what side you're on, it's the truth, and how they've again, these judges are working for the deep state. These judges are activists. Democrats, the radical left. You know, no matter what side you're on, it's the truth. You know? And it's been very unfair, man. Very unfair. People spoke loud and clear. And you have a judge wants to turn around, make a plane to make a U-turn for criminals who have murdered, who have killed American citizens. Put the judge on the plane. You know, just like I say, people that was defending the Ukraine situation, you go down there, send your paycheck down there, and put your boots on. Go to war. Because the only people that's going to clap for you is them Democrats. And they'll take your check too. They'll take your paycheck. Yeah, they'll take your paycheck and they'll smile and clap as you walk down there. Yeah.
67% of all of the injunctions in this century have come against which president? Donald J. Trump. Let me say that again.
That's facts.
60% of the injunctions by partisan activists in the judicial branch have come against President Donald Trump, and 92% of those have been from Democrat-appointed judges. This is a clear, concerted effort by leftists who don't like this president and are trying to impose or slow down his agenda.
Yep. Facts. It is facts, man. You shout out to the press secretary, man, shutting down reporters by informing them that two out of three of all injunctions imposed this century against President Trump. Judges have been against President Trump. 92% of those have been from judges appointed by Democrats. Yeah. You know. You just can't make this stuff up, man. You just can't. You know. But I want to get into this one with the judge with Elon Musk. And I tell you, man, this is just a federal judge has ordered Elon Musk and DOGE to reinstate all of USAID functionality. You know, here it is right here. Activist judge has essentially taken control of executive branch, undermining the power of president and his deputies. Yeah. So nobody at district court, that a district court judge, Theodore Nehang, who was appointed by Obama. This was an Obama appointed judge. You know, again, just ordered a judicial coup. Elon Musk and DOGE to restore one sponsor of terror on the planet, USAID. And this is what Kennedy had to say about it, man. And I really love this clip right here.
What else did Mr. Musk found that my colleagues don't want to talk about? Well, he reviewed a study and then went and checked it. The study was done by the Middle East Forum. They found that USAID spent $164 million to support radical organizations around the world. We're not talking Cub Scout troops here. We're talking about radical organizations around the world. They gave $122 million of that to groups aligned with foreign terrorist organizations. Our taxpayer money. According to this report in Mr. Musk, the USAID has given millions of dollars to, quote, organizations in Gaza controlled by Hamas. Why aren't my colleagues talking about that? Recipients of the money, they found, have, quote, called for their lands to be cleansed from the impurity of Jews. That's what we're giving foreign aid to.
The corrupt scam matrix, you know. The corrupt scam matrix. All right, we got more breaking news. A DOGE official is taking leadership role at USAID after an activist judge attempted to force Elon Musk and DOGE to reinstate the agency. Elon and Trump are playing chess, while these activist judges are playing checkers. You know, but again, this was yesterday when the judge ordered Elon Musk and DOGE to fully reinstate USAID after they dismantled it, you know. And he says that's right, a judge now single-handedly running the executive branch. This has to stop. You know, and this judge was appointed by the one and only Obama, Barry. How's Big Mike? Did you check on her mushroom tip, sir? Did you hold her hand? Did you check on her mushroom tip, Big Mike? You know, the sheriff knew too much. Miss Rivers knew too much. There needs to be a full-blown investigation on them. You know, we seen the real birth certificate, Barry. Barry, you not legit. You not a legitimate president, sir. We seen that birth certificate. But there's a disgrace, man. You know, with these judges. You know.
President Trump made a major announcement last night as he called for a district court judge to be impeached. As a result, Chief Justice Roberts came out today to defend this radical judge. Let's hear more.
Chief Justice John Roberts issued a rare statement today. It was one that directly confronts the Trump administration after the president called for a judge to be impeached. Roberts defended the judiciary's independence and rejected impeachment as a response to disagreeing with a jurist's rulings, reminding Trump and the White House that the normal appellate review process exists specifically for that purpose.
Yes, my only response to Chief Justice Roberts would be keep the same energy. You had nothing to say when Joe Biden opened up the border. You had nothing to say when he defied your court order as it pertains to student loans. But now all of a sudden you have something to say because President Trump put up a social media post. What executive order did he issue trying to impeach a judge? What physical action did he take trying to impeach a judge? I'm just asking for consistency here. Now, here's President Trump sitting down with Laura Ingraham responding to Chief Justice Roberts.
The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court issued what a rare statement about your suggestion on Truth that you posted earlier today that Judge James Boasberg should be impeached after he ordered those deportation flights to El Salvador halted, essentially turned around. The Chief Justice said it was more than two centuries. We understood that essentially impeachment was for very rare circumstances and not an appropriate response to rulings you disagree with. What's your reaction to the court's stepping in to make a statement here? They didn't make a statement when Joe Biden, decided to forgive all those student loans.
Well, he didn't mention my name in the statement. I just saw it quickly. He didn't mention my name, but many people have called for his impeachment, the impeachment of this judge. I don't know who the judge is, but he's radical left. He was Obama appointed. And he actually said we shouldn't be able to take criminals, killers, murderers, horrible, the worst people, gang members, gang leaders, that we shouldn't be allowed to take them out of our country. Well, that's a presidential job. That's not for a local judge to be making that determination.
Essentially, there's really two sides to this entire debate. One is due process. And that is really coming from the left, that President Trump is not following due process. He's breaking the Constitution in half. He's trying to go after rogue judges. He's trying to take over Congress. I mean, they're going to say extreme statements that really are not true. The other side here is that President Trump was given an overwhelming mandate to get these criminals out of this country, and Americans don't care how it's done. Just get it done. Take action. That's exactly what the President Trump is doing. Now,
yeah, man, it's crazy how we talked about this like 3 months ago. We predicted all this 3 months ago about these activist judges, you know.
Here's what Bernie Sanders had to say about all this.
And now he's going after the courts. Look, if somebody is a corrupt judge, that person can and should be impeached. But not because you voiced an opinion. That's why these guys have life terms. So they are immune from these types of attack, and they can be objective in their judgment. And just a word here. In the last number of years, and I'm not a great fan of Chief Justice Roberts, you have had decisions from the Supreme Court on Citizens United, which allow billionaires to buy elections, one of the worst decisions in the history of the Supreme Court.
She still don't got no lips, and he need a popsicle. She don't got no lips, and he need a popsicle. I'm sorry, I had to throw that out there.
You didn't see a whole lot of people saying impeach Roberts and members of the court. You had this horrible decision on Roe versus Wade, taking away women's rights to control their own bodies. Again, we live in a society of rule of law. Supreme Court has its power. Judges have their power. And it should frighten every American, whether you're conservative or progressive, that you have a president who does not respect our Constitution and wants more and more power for himself.
So my only response to Bernie Sanders would be I could make the same argument for Joe Biden. He didn't respect the Supreme Court's decision as it pertains to student loans. He definitely did not respect the Constitution and American safety when he opened the borders. So everything he's saying about Trump, you could say for Joe Biden. And in regards to Citizens United, that benefits both sides of the aisle. That's why nobody was calling to impeach any judge, because it really does not put Americans in danger in the same way that allowing TDA gang members to run rampant in people's communities would put Americans in danger. So this leads to the question that's on everybody's mind. Will President Trump and his administration defy court orders in this regard? Here's what he said.
But going forward, would you defy a court order? Because that we all know that was outrageous.
I never did defy a court order.
And you wouldn't in the future?
No, you can't do that. However, we have bad judges. We have very bad judges. And I think at a certain point,
when you believe that the judges are not acting in good faith and in accordance with the Constitution, well, the only thing that can be done is the House will have to seek to impeach the judge, and the official vote will go to the Senate. And that's really never going to happen. This judge will never be impeached. OK, that's just the reality of everything. So a lot of it is just noise and smoke. The real test is when the case gets to the Supreme Court. That's what actually matters. Now, I want to show you guys a clip because I think it really shows the true debate in all of this. You got one side who's like, hey, we're taking action because over the past 4 years, nothing happened. And then you have one side that wants to critique every action from a place of extreme compassion. Take a look at this.
There is a new lawsuit, and maybe you'll care about this because it's about an American, from the National Immigrant Justice Center. Here we go. Here's an American. There are 22 people that they're saying in the state of Illinois who have had their rights violated since Trump came into office, including a 54-year-old American who was born in this country, who had his stuff taken away, was thrown in a van, handcuffed, took 10 hours for him to be able to get out of there. Now, they had no reason to
got out. Yeah. Isn't that the point?
You know what? Then I'm going to throw you in jail for 10 hours and see how you feel about it.
You know what? Who are you fighting for? Are you fighting for the criminals?
I'm fighting for an American. Actually, if they, why can't you accept it? If mistakes are being made, that they should do a better job of this. ICE even had a declaration that came out last night.
You let them all in. What are you talking about? Do a better job.
We can always do a better job. I agree. But that doesn't negate the job that's being done. That's all I would say. Let's agree to that, Jessica.
when you let
Those
10 million
votes, though,
people
Greg.
into the country and you try to get them all
Nice
out,
try, Jesse.
there's going to be some
Go back
issues.
on vacation.
So what I find to be interesting is while these leftists like Jessica,
I don't know why Jessica's still. I just, you know how we feel about Jessica Tarloff. So, hey,
cry about due process when it comes to illegals. American citizens
Ridiculous,
have
man.
struggled under the weight of this entire mass invasion under the Biden administration. And now that there's an actual president who's willing to do the right thing, they cry foul on everything. This is the debate. One side wants to critique everything that President Trump is doing because he's moving too fast for them to even comprehend or understand. And yes, mistakes are being made along the way. And then on the other side, hey, we've been given a mandate. We have to take action. We got to get this done. Results matter. And that's why in a related story, a federal judge today blocked billionaire Elon Musk and DOGE from taking any more steps to shut down USAID, saying their efforts up to this point likely violated the U.S. Constitution. So there you go again with another district court judge preventing the executive branch from exercising its powers.
Late today, a federal judge issued one of the first rulings limiting Elon Musk and his chainsaw team at DOGE. The judge ruling that DOGE, quote, likely violated the United States Constitution when it gutted the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID. He placed a preliminary injunction on DOGE. He's not stopping them from accessing personal data of USAID employees, but ordered DOGE not to share it outside the agency. And he says they can't fire any more people who work in the rubble of what was USAID.
Now, in case you didn't know it, the Trump administration was already ahead of this. That's why you guys heard of that alleged blow up between department heads and Elon Musk in a cabinet meeting a couple of weeks back, where it came to the realization that people have been appointed as a director or administrator or secretary of their own departments. They need to be firing these individuals, not DOGE. So what's interesting is the people who are already fired, it's over for them. They're not coming back. The people who recently were laid off or left the building at USAID, the judge is expecting them to come back to work. But how do you actually come back? I mean, that's the interesting part about all this. And here's what President Trump had to say in response to this ruling.
But for federal judges, district court judges, to order a sitting president to reinstate fired employees, you're the chief executive officer of the United States. You order that these agencies be reviewed.
Employees, many of whom didn't even report to work, many of whom were scamming this country. And you see the same thing. I could read them off, and I did during various speeches. I read off deal after deal after deal, all big scams. And we have a guy that wants to make a name for himself. You know, in many cases, they're just grandstanders. They want to make a name for themselves. So we'll appeal it, and hopefully we will meet with reasonable appeals. You know, I've won great cases on appeals.
Yeah, well, some of the, maybe people weren't fired, maybe they were temporarily put on suspended. So we'll see how this plays out. But he's very unhappy with what happened at USAID.
Well, he shouldn't be. You know what he should do? He should really look at where the money went. They don't ever want to do that. You know, the Democrats always talk about, oh, our Constitution's been violated. The one thing they never talk about is, where did these billions of dollars go? They never want to look, because when you see where the money went and the scams, you don't even have to see anything. Just look at the heading.
Just think about it. It's human nature. If you knew that your husband or wife or daughter or son or associate or best friend is serving on the board of these NGOs that are getting all this money from USAID, and you find out that Elon Musk is trying to axe that, what would you do? You would try to fight against it. Yeah. Absolutely. And you would go to your lawyer friends, and you would go to judges, and you would go to politicians. And we already know these institutions overwhelmingly lean left. Now, here is Elon Musk sitting down with Ted Cruz, confirming what President Trump was saying.
Why do they hate you so much?
Well, because we're clearly over the target. If DOGE was ineffective, if we were not actually getting rid of a bunch of waste and fraud, and a bunch of that fraud, I mean, the fraud we're seeing is overwhelmingly on the left. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not zero on the right, but these NGOs are almost all left-wing NGOs that are being funded, for example.
Yep.
So they hate me because DOGE is being effective. And DOGE is getting rid of a lot of waste and fraud that that people on the left were taking advantage of. That's what it comes down to. And the single biggest thing that they're worried about is that DOGE is going to turn off fraudulent payments of entitlements. I mean, everything from Social Security, Medicare, unemployment, disability, small business administration loans, turn them off to illegals.
Yeah, so here's what Charlie Kirk had to say in reaction to all of this. I'm just going to cut to the chase. He says this: in case it wasn't explicit enough that the only two clauses of the left's constitution where thou shalt have open borders and all American money will be sent abroad. I mean, literally, that's what Democrats are continuing to double down on, triple down on, and fight for. Now, there's really two fronts, politically and legally. Legally, Democrats could be correct. President Trump could lose, not only with these district court judges, but maybe he appeals it, he loses again, it goes to the Supreme Court, he loses again. But politically, this will continue to ruin the Democratic Party because these are not issues that the majority of Americans are going to support as it pertains to the way that Democrats see it. They don't see it as President Trump is trying to violate the Constitution. They see it as President Trump keeping his promises. So I think it's a fine line that Democrats have to walk, which brings me to the question of this video. What do you believe? Do you believe that these district court judges are rogue? They are trying to stop President Trump from exercising his executive authority? Or do you believe President Trump is exceeding his executive authority and that a lot of these cases he's going to lose when it gets to the Supreme Court? Let me know what your thoughts are about it.
All right, to tell you how them patriots going to answer that, read some of these comments. Wait a minute. So you can impeach a president, but you shouldn't impeach a judge? When a district judge can interfere with lawful decisions of the president, our country is broken. So, of this, we elected Trump. We did not elect a district judge. Yeah. I stand with our president. This judge has a daughter who defends gangs and criminals. She works for an NGO. The judge should recuse himself from any of these procedures. When did judge start becoming active? Yeah. These judges seem to think that they have more power than the president. Yeah. Super corrupt judges. And there it is, you guys. We voted for the president of the United States, not some district judge. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. You just can't make this up, man. You just can't make this up. This clown here. Elon Musk is unconstitutional. But we told y'all, we predicted this months ago. We would start seeing stuff like this, But let me know what you guys think, man. How do you feel about everything? And again, prayers for Trump and the Trump administration before we get out of here, man. I want to send my prayers and love to you guys. There's a lot of chaos going on right now. People are just lost it, man. These activists have lost it. These leftists, the radical left, they said no, touching people's property, destroying people's property, setting things on fire, seeing Tesla's dealerships on fire, protesting Elon Musk. I mean, it's just these liberals have lost it, man. These activists have lost it. But we're bringing some more updates today, so make sure you have your post notifications on. Subscribe if you're new here. Join the family. And I will catch you beautiful people in the next one. Peace and love, you guys.